So Gabrielle is going to be a monster, a true monster of a hurricane. And she's going to deliver a death punch to the United States. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that as an exaggeration either. Irma, this image is Irma from 2 years ago. This was out over the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, there's an island in the center, in the eye of this storm, Irma, at her peak, her frightening, awful, excruciating peak. Gabrielle, the name of an archangel, Gabriel, nice name, but Gabrielle is not going to be nice. She's going to be a killer, Cat 5, monster, excruciating. And there's been a few things happening that have made me think, you know what? I don't think this is my imagination. I went to look at my favorite. I don't subscribe to much, to be honest, on YouTube. But I did subscribe to Hiago Salza a while ago. He doesn't even speak English. But I loved his videos. I absolutely loved his videos. He was very creative, very funny. He'd do crazy stuff. He'd wear dresses and he was very funny. He'd do role plays. And I was really disappointed to see his channel has been closed down. I thought he had deleted all these videos and I was like, why, man, why? But no. Nope. That's why. And yeah, I could see this coming. Facebook started long before Google, YouTube, being moral police, you know, the world's moral police. Religion sort of had its heyday. So the moral police of the modern era are the social media giants, Facebook and YouTube and others. Instagram, Twitter. Gradually you'll see these will be the authorities when it comes to what is morally acceptable and what is not. It's already happening. 119. It is happening. Steamboat Geezer is going to send us a sign. Now, should I care about the fate of a city in Florida that I don't even know much about? Or should I just be like everyone else and just say, oh, whatever, it's not my business. I don't live there. I don't know anyone who lives there. It's like Yiming Yuan in jail in Singapore, having been tortured. I mean, 99.999% of the world are sitting back saying, who cares? Not my problem. So why should I be any different? And who's to say my channel won't get shut down? Especially if I start criticizing the empire, the authority. Well, I don't really care. I'm having a beer, I'm making a video, I don't really care. To be honest, if my account gets shut down, so be it. We live in a time of, you know, what do you call it? Censorship? It's not just China. Young people are censored because there's a huge amount of paranoia in Western society. If someone under the age of 18 starts, you know, expressing themselves sexually, well, it makes adults feel very uneasy. And adults are always very keen to protect their feelings. It's got nothing to do with young people and keeping them safe. If it was about keeping young people safe, well, hey, they wouldn't be shutting down the account of a young person, because that would be devastating for him. So the proof is in the action. The consequence, as they call it, the consequence for breaking the rules. We make the rules. If you break the rules, you suffer the consequence. Every authoritarian speaks the same language. It's the language of the Bible. It's the language of the Quran. I'm not religious. I do believe in afterlife. I do believe in spirit. I'm not a God person because God is the authoritarian in the religious scene. He's the authoritarian dictator, the bully, often the destroyer, the torturer, and so on and so forth. I got a feeling, Steamboat Geezer, I just ran a calculation this afternoon and I thought, maybe it's going to erupt again soon, like really soon. Like, I don't know why I think that, because the last eruption happened after quite a decent 13 days, 15 hours, 3 minutes. That's a fairly decent interval compared to others in recent times. It did get really close together here. But I don't know why I'm predicting this. The chances of it happening are, in a logical sense, very remote. But I don't let logic come into it. If I'm following my feelings, I just go with it. And I just put logic to one side for a while and just go with the feeling. Probably isn't true, but that's okay. I know what is true. And I know what's not true. I know it's not a threat to anybody when a teenage boy expresses himself sexually in a video. We're not talking porn. We're not talking pornography. We're talking boys just expressing themselves in a slightly erotic way. And it makes adults really uncomfortable because of all the paranoia around pedophilia, which is actually a very rare thing. Abuse is common, but abuse is led by the authorities. They demonstrate abuse constantly. Abuse, disrespect, disregard for free will. It's constant. It's everywhere. And authorities are the ones who really, they demonstrate it the most. So let's go to world clock. Canberra, where I am, it's just after midnight. I'm just having a beer and then I'm going to bed. And I'm making a video in the process. Canberra, world clock. Let's go exploring. Let's go to London. That's where DJ Ming is from. He's a victim of torture. He knows authorities are not nice people. In Singapore, they're downright nasty and cruel, sadistic, evil, barbaric. He can't say that, of course, because he's in their lair. And he can think it, but he can't say it. And I can say it, because I'm not in their clutches. I'm not in the clutches of the evil torturers, like he is. He's actually from London, UK. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's have a look at what I did today. Because it upset me. It told me that this hurricane actually is going to be a monster. When I saw that young man's YouTube account had been shut down, that's when I knew. This hurricane is going to be cruel. It's a reflection of the cruelty that's going on around the world. From the way refugees are being treated to a whole heap of things. There's cruelty everywhere. And global warming then is providing fuel for this kind of thing to happen. It's going to happen. Gabrielle is going to be the worst hurricane ever to hit the United States. It's coming soon. There's going to be a few hurricanes soon. Gabrielle's going to be... The weird thing is, it's not going to seem that bad. That's what's going to make it really deadly. It's not going to seem that bad, and then it's going to turn out to be absolutely horrible. Now, Steamboat Geezer, if this does happen, well then you know. You know. It's full on. This is a full on thing. I'm not expecting it to happen. Because, you know, a minimum interval on top of a minimum interval just a couple of months ago is not likely. But I know what I know. Hiago Souza, the boy whose account was shut down, Yiming Yuan, the young man who's in jail having been tortured, and Nathan Breeze, a bushfire victim from Australia. Fire boy Nathan, my steam boy. My boy Nathan. Red Rain Message, Dark Singapore, Red Rain of Blood, Killer Gabrielle. A Category 5 caning. Category 5 violence. Extreme torture. Singapore. Embraced by the West? I don't quite get it. We can't have boys with their shirts off, but we can have, I don't know. We can have a good relationship with Singapore. Black Saturday. Bushfire victims. Nathan and Crystal. Strong brave lady. Cyclone prophecy. See the reflection here? Strong evil lady. Hurricane symbol on August 15. So on August 15 there's a warning sign. 18 times 3 is 54, the value of love. The value of Gabrielle. Code red. So is it like the Archangel is warning us about the hurricane that's got the power of an archangel, but it's evil? That's kind of the way I read it. Michael, Archangel, and Michael was a Cat 5 destroyer last year. So Jacksonville, I'm thinking it's going to happen around 3 p.m. on September 5. That's just something I've come up with based on, well, if Steamboat does erupt at the time I said, then I'd be a lot more inclined to believe this. At the moment, it's just a bit of a thing, you know. It's a thought. She will deliver a mighty blow, and her deadly storm surge will rush in far beyond the defences of the hapless town. Yet her terrifying and excruciating onslaught will only just have begun. The next blow, in her merciless rampage of extreme torture, will be gathering as the monster draws its breath. And here comes that dreaded sound again. The water will rise like the agony of the convicted drug trafficker in Singapore, held in place for his torture, excruciating, powerful blows, bringing pain far in excess of what any honest human would describe as mere punishment. Far in excess. And the sea will turn blood red. The blood of the victims. Gabrielle's hapless victims will be held in place, like Yiming Yuan, utterly terrified out of their mind, unable to escape from the next excruciating blow of sickening violence. They will look into her bright blue eyes, and they will shudder with dread. Her ability to inflict pain is truly terrifying. She claimed the moral authority to judge Yiming Yuan as Satan, the brat, deserving of an extreme Category 5 caning. But I know you, Gabrielle. You're a bloodthirsty sadist. And the people who get punished are the people who like to have fun. The DJs, the comedians, the empathetic bratty sinner, Satan. Do you want me to spank you? Consensual spanking of Satan, the kinky masochistic brat, making penance. Down at the beach, he took a whip. He stuffed it in his shorts. He's sexy. He's got a sexy friend who likes being spanked. Steamboat Geezer gets excited when sinful Satan gets a good spanking. Steamboat erupts for Satan, the empathetic, loving, bratty sinner. You know the throttle from the brake. Jacob's Fuel, Steamboat Geezer. Wyoming Steamboat. You've got a lot of nerve bending over like that, Twin Mirror Boy. You know your straight line from a curve. Jake Wetling. Steamboat Geyser, the new minimum record interval. Jacob's prophecy next Thursday, the new minimum record interval. The symbolic major eruption coming on Thursday, August 15. Record minimum interval, Mountain Daylight Time in Wyoming, USA. Eruption time is 9 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time in Wyoming. Steamboat Geyser date at 9 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time in Wyoming. The eruption at 9 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time in Wyoming. Gabrielle, the angel, telling us, hey, there's a reflection coming. The Steamboat Geyser buoy and the new twin minimum record interval. Because it's a universe of reflection. The Steamboat Geyser buoy and the new twin minimum record interval is 2 days, 2 hours and 37 minutes. Time, 2 days, 22 hours and 37 minutes in between major eruptions. And you could, I sort of say it's like twins because we had a new minimum interval recently. The old one went right back to the 80s. What is it? 3:18 British summertime, Tuesday, 13th of August 2019. What are we doing in London? Ye Ming Yuan's not in London. He used to be, but he got kidnapped by torturers in Singapore. Torturers who deny they're torturers, but torturers always deny that they are torturers. Torture, actually, equals 117. It's the latitude of Singapore. Torture. It's what they do. They torture people by caning them. Ironically, caning was introduced to Singapore by Great Britain. Unfortunate for Ye Ming Yuan. Unfortunate for his butt. Now, if he was a kinky boy and he liked getting spanked, he'd never be getting spanked again because his butt is ruined, destroyed. So we know it's torture. Gabrielle, 54. Remember, love, 54. Whipping is 102. Warrior is 102. Singapore is 104. So Singapore, whipping. And dangerous is 104. Prediction is 113. Psychic is 83. There's no such thing as a psychic. Well, how do you know? What if there is? What if Jesus was schizophrenic? People say, hey, don't say that. It's disrespectful. And I'm like, well, why? Who's it disrespectful to? Is it disrespectful to Jesus or is it disrespectful to schizophrenics? Which one's less human? Or if Jesus had a connection to the other side, a strong connection, being the Son of God and all, then he can't have been normal. And if he was normal, why were they so hell-bent on, keen as hell on, flogging him and torturing him and crucifying him? Because it wasn't just one or two people. They were all hellish keen on it. Let's kill him. Let's torture him and kill him. And I've noticed a lot of people are hellishly keen on the torture of this guy in Singapore because he's a drug trafficker. So I guess nothing changes. This is what I've concluded. Nothing changes. Everything stays the same. You've always got the majority of people just follow like sheep. You've got a loud minority that are really evil, and you've got victims who are being tortured. That's Wyoming Steamboat Geyser, new record minimum interval. 666. Yeah, I thought I'd focus on the number 666 because it sort of suits the world I'm in. Because it's the number of the beast. And it's a beastly world. Some people say this is a monster, the Steamboat Geyser. I like it. The nostrils of a dragon 6.1 meters of height. And if it's going to warn us about the worst hurricane ever hit America, well, that means it must be a good dragon. Like Puff the Magic Dragon. So that's Wyoming Steamboat Geyser. New record minimum interval. If this happens, nobody will be more surprised than me. The Steamboat Geyser boys, new minimum record, 9 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, Thursday. Jackson in Wyoming and Jacksonville in Florida. Because I think when you drink beer while making prophecies, it kind of jinxes it. If you know what I mean. Because drinking is against the Bible. It's against the Quran too. Double jinx. Steamboat Geyser sign, Jackson in Wyoming and Jacksonville in Florida. Steam. Downstairs, beneath the steamboat, the water bubbling on the hot rocks. Anticipation of Satan, bubbling, 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 like it's coming to the boil. Like the anger of conservatives when they go on Facebook or YouTube and they see something like Hiago Salazar doing a little dance in his shorty shots. And this is where you end up. Censorship. And the trashing of someone's account. A young guy, who put a heap of work into his videos, and they just go, pfft. That's really nasty. It's not as nasty as the cane. Cane equals 23. But it's nasty and it's cruel. And that's what this hurricane's going to be. Nasty and cruel. At least Satan's nice enough to give us a warning. Despite how cruel we are to Satan, he still turns around and says, listen, I think I should tell you. There's this thing coming and it's so nasty, I think I should tell you something about it. If you read the Bible, God doesn't really warn people about stuff, he just threatens to destroy cities constantly. The Steamboat Boy Satan is way down deep, beneath the superheated water. Bubbling, bubbling, like it's coming to the boil. Steamboat Geyser, Dragon Boy. Hot water below the Steamboat Geyser, like it's coming to the boil for the English drug trafficker in hot water, delinquent's punishment. His punishment being the Category 5 cane. Category 5 caning. Bare butt. Maximum caning. And it's full on violence. Extreme violence. God, the authoritarian bully in the Garden of Eden. Trestle in Singapore. It's not entirely accurate because they do put padding around the legs, the upper legs, and across the back. But the position is actually about right. No consent equals no light. The English drug trafficker in hot water, bubbling, bubbling, like it's coming to the boil. Torture of Yiming Yuan. And I'm just thinking, imagining like, I'm in a nightclub having a beer, and he's DJing. And things are all good and he's not like getting his, ass destroyed by Cat 5 cane. Yiming Yuan's intense caning. Hot water below the Steamboat Geyser. Bubbling like it's coming to the boil. No light in your bright blue eyes. The authoritarian torturer. The caning is scary and I don't want it. In the Garden of Eden, God the authoritarian bully caned the man Yiming Yuan because he played the wrong song. And that's because he took drugs. He bought drugs and he sold drugs. He was a drug trafficker. You'd think he was a drug importer. He wasn't. Prophet Yiming Yuan. No light in your bright blue eyes. The demon boy's mirror. No light in your bright blue eyes. I wonder why they flogged Jesus. Why they've tortured Jesus. The Romans. Because they had the same idea. will come down on them so hard by scourging them and crucifying them, they won't dare. Nobody will dare do whatever they did. Deterrent. And then you get sexual sadists mixed up in the mix, and they're not honest people. Deceptive people. No light in your bright blue eyes. Laurent, the zombie boy. No light in your bright blue eyes. The community guidelines of Gabrielle. And the dishonest hypocrites who get awfully upset if a boy takes off his clothes all the way down to his shorty shorts. Now this is a video that was posted by Iago Souza a long time ago. And the funny thing is, he didn't post any videos recently. So they've banned his channel based on videos that have been there for years. So what it means is, no YouTube channel is safe. That's what it means. So I'm not taking it seriously anymore. And keep the teenager safe by publicly shaming him. The Trinity Boys Choir. I don't care if I've got a gift of prophecy and I've got the ability to warn people about things. It's useless if we live in a world where free speech is limited by the powers that control social media. If they can just terminate accounts willy-nilly, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about hurricanes or helping other people. Don't worry about trying to help other people. There's no point. Weird sexuality. Keep young people safe by silencing their voices. Silence the voice of the funny, cool, gay-friendly, hottie teenager, Satan. I mean, why else would you terminate the account? If you don't think he's Satan, why would you be that cruel? Terminate the account of the beautiful teenage boy who wears dresses. Because he's doing something, he's proactively doing something to remove the stigma around homosexuality and all that stuff. And so they take him away. They just shut down his account. I think it's terrible. Satan the kinky and crazy violator of God's community guidelines. Community guidelines. You know your ladder from your snake. Satan and the constantly changing rules of the dishonest majority. You know your ladder from your snake. Satan's moral awareness. Satan does have moral awareness. He has empathy. She has empathy. He, she. Satan. Silence the voice of the funny, cool, gay-friendly teenager. He needs the belt. Yeah, let's go back to those days. Why not? I mean, might as well. You know. For a second there, I thought we were actually going in a direction of genuinely, like, equality. Genuinely removing stigma. But that was just a silly idea that I had, thinking that people were actually genuine. They're not genuine. It's a load of rubbish. The stigma is still there. And if a young person actually starts doing something meaningful to remove stigma, well, the powers that control social media, well, it's pretty obvious what they do. They just did it. And I'm disgusted. And it was when I saw that, that's when I knew this hurricane's going to be a monster. And if YouTube wants to take my video down, go for it. Take my channel down. I don't care. I couldn't care less. You pick on young people, you might as well pick on older people, you might as well pick on everyone. You know, you want this quasi-professional thing that you're going for, this money-making machine, go for it, I don't care. Silence the voice of the funny, cool, gay-friendly teenager. He needs the belt. Keep crazy and kinky young people safe by closing the doors on them. Darkness I became, the silenced bad boy Satan, asking for an old-fashioned whipping. Because what else is there to do? Other than be a masochist, be depressed, be whatever, don't be fun, don't have fun. That's the message. Do not have fun, and don't be yourself, and don't be honest. If you're honest, you're going to end up banned. If you're honest about who you are, expressing yourself honestly as a young person, you'll be banned. Okay? That's the message that sends, and that's why I think it's utterly deplorable, disgusting. And I'm not only having a go at Google, but they are a massively powerful company based in the USA. Facebook, even worse. I won't even use Facebook. I haven't used Facebook for a few years because I saw what was happening there. Moral police. Nah, not my thing. Moral police, and yet they allow genuinely bigoted, horrible, hateful people to post constant, typical, homophobic, nasty, slurring, derogatory stuff all the time. I think it's utterly revolting. But when the powers that be back up the discriminators by terminating accounts of people who are brave, young brave people who express, just because they get complaints from conservatives, well, that's when I knew. The noisy minority of religious extremists. Gabrielle, Red Rain. Guidelines of the religious conservatives. Scary major hurricane. Guidelines of powerful religious conservatives. And I'm not just talking about people that are against drinking beer because it's in the Bible. There's plenty of conservatives who drink beer, but they've got all kinds of hang-ups about transgender. Just something I've noticed. Scary Gabrielle. Maybe she's a boy, dressed as a girl. Scary tropical cyclone. Common sense of Christian conservatives. The community standards of the hypocrites. The evil eye of Gabrielle. The majority of dishonest hypocrites, Gabrielle was Category 5. When you look back on the destruction, that's what you'll say, she was Category 5 for sure. Killer Hurricane, the shallow dishonest people who lack real empathy. Rat and cane discipline, shallow dishonest people who lack real empathy. Well, those are the authorities in Singapore. I don't know if they're Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, or what they are. Atheist. Couldn't care less. They're evil torturers. Fake Christian social conservatives. Prophecy of the Holy Spirit. I'm focusing on Christians because I'm in Australia and there's a lot of conservative Christians in Australia who I've seen enough of them to know how they operate, their attitudes, their way of thinking. Kind of rubs me the wrong way. I've heard a lot of people who I thought were conservative Christians in the media recently come out and say they're not Christians. They are secular, which puzzles me. Fake Christian social conservatives. The prophecy of Jesus Christ. So they're all about the social conservatism. Stamp out. I don't know, the focus is always shifting, but transgender's a big no-no in the conservative world at the moment. And being gay, well, that's not okay in Singapore. That's caneable. You'll get the Cat 5 cane for being gay in Singapore. If you're caught in a homosexual act in Singapore, you'll be caned. Fake Christian social conservatives, including in Singapore, where they are also torturers. The prophecy of Satan's flogging. The cruel and vicious caning of Yimin Yuan. Gabrielle was Category 5. Now the people who administer the justice system and all the rest in Singapore, I would know if they're Buddhist, Christian or Muslim. or non-believers. Don't care. They're torturers. That's all I care about. They're torturers. So cruel and vicious, nasty, lacking empathy. The cruel and vicious caning of Yiming Yuan. Gabrielle was Category 5. Saint Michael the Archangel. Major Category 5 Hurricanes, Michael and Gabriel. The Holy Archangel Gabriel. Major Category 5 Hurricanes, Michael and Gabrielle. Major Category 5 Twins. Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. Gabrielle the cruel and vicious hurricane. Torture for Jacksonville. Community standards of the hypocrites. Scary red rain prophecy. The reasonable majority of normal people, they have all been blown out. Yeah, he was a good dancer too, Hiago. He had good moves. Sexy moves. And that's offensive to a lot of adults who feel uncomfortable if they see a young person expressing themselves in a way that's even mildly erotic. It's like, ooh, that's so inappropriate. Really? So you'd rather just shut them away, out of mind, out of sight. As long as then I don't know it. You know what puzzles me? If you're on YouTube, you don't have to watch his videos. There is nothing saying that people who are offended by teenagers expressing themselves sexually have to watch their videos. This is what I don't get. Don't watch it. If it offends you, don't watch it. Go watch something else. But for YouTube to bow to these people that like to complain every time they see something that offends them, it's pathetic. Utterly pathetic. And I'm making a video now, but I'm not taking it seriously. Because I'm too disgusted to take anything seriously. The punishment of Satan, the comedian. Report to the principal's office. Assume the position. Bend over and touch your toes. Darkness, I became. Lorenzo the prophet of a violent, cruel, sadistic hurricane. Gabriel. Gabriel and the cruel enforcement of punishments and sanctions. Gabriel. So back when he was making videos like this video, you could go on back 5-6 years to when he was like 10 or something. I don't know, probably even 9 or something. He's now 15, 16, around that age, and he hasn't loaded videos for quite a while. So they've obviously decided, you know what, he's got too many videos where he's prancing around in his little shorty shorts. It makes too many people uncomfortable. We get too many complaints, so let's axe his channel. I can see that why his channel's been axed. And I think it's revolting. Absolutely revolting that YouTube would be that cruel to a young person. Just to please the conservatives, essentially, who complain. And it's not... When I say conservatives, there are some conservatives who would say, there's nothing wrong with his videos, they're funny, they're good. Conservative in terms of obviously there are some people who have conservative values that include children should always be dressed head to toe like a Muslim. And they are the people I'm talking about. Because they are obviously the people complaining. The kids can't show bare skin because that's inappropriate. And it's like, well, if they do, it's like, and that's the way the world's going. I've seen it. I've seen enough of it. I know that's what's going on. And there's all this paranoia about kids. Oh, we have to keep kids safe. It's all crap. It's all perception. It's all part of this red tape. So there's actually some conservatives that would be like, who hate red tape, who hate all the rules and all the garbage, the PC stuff, which I do too, who would probably agree with me. But it's like this weird mishmash of political correctness and conservatism. And the people caught in the middle are the victims. Because political correctness is coming from government, mostly from government, thinking it's doing what people want it to do, which it's not. It's not. People are getting really mad. So he's the prophet now, because they axed his channel. And because they axed his channel, I got the feeling this hurricane really is going to be a monster. It was kind of weird. I just did. Prophet Hugo Salza, no light in your bright blue eyes. The channel screenshot warning about the monster hurricane Gabrielle. Because there's cruelty in terminating the account of a person, a young person, who has put a lot of work in. And also is a betrayal of trust. A big betrayal of trust. Because they've trusted that you're going to, safeguard their videos. That you're not going to delete them. And you've betrayed them. You've betrayed their trust. So there's betrayal. So far from keeping young people safe, you're actually betraying the basic trust that they've put in you in the first place. So it's total betrayal. It's actually really awful, sickening. The bright blue eyes of the demon Gabrielle, Daniel and Samuel, open their eyes. The bright blue eyes of the woman named Gabrielle, but I know you, Samuel. The bright blue eyes of the twin named Samuel, but I know you, Gabrielle. Major Category 5 storm. Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. Jacksonville in Florida. Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. Like a hammer. Terrifying Hurricane Gabrielle making landfall on Jacksonville in Florida. Bad lady who plays with the ocean making landfall on Jacksonville in Florida. Jacob Owen Wettling's Red Rain. No light in your bright blue eyes. Daniel, the evil twin in Red Rain. Also the name of the guy who murdered Jacob Wetteling. Yeah, an actual pedophile. An actual predator. Someone who did prey on children. And you know what? If Jake had been making videos for YouTube, doing little dances in his shorty shorts, it would have made no difference. Because when he was kidnapped, he was just riding his bike. And this guy came out of the dark with a gun and took him. So, all the paranoia that's swirling around the world today is meaningless. And it's not helping kids, and it's not helping anyone. It's making kids more vulnerable, actually. Because now the norm for young people is they have no interaction with adults. So if an adult does pay them attention, well, I would say they're more vulnerable now than ever before. It makes no difference if it's a guy with a gun. Daniel. It's kind of weird. The Daniel is actually the name of the boy, the evil boy in Red Rain, who is the age that Jake was when he was taken. 10 hours 22 minutes. Jacob equals 31. It went off 10 hours 23 minutes ago. It went off at 23 minutes past 10. Steamboat Geezer, 12th of August 2019. 13. Nathan's age, 13. It's like a strange thing. The next eruption will be number 32 of 2019. The 32nd major eruption. Yiming Yuan's commented that his sentence was worse. He was going to be caned worse than child rapists. And yeah, it's a good point actually. No light. No light. Daniel and Samuel are identical twins. No light in your bright blue eyes. No light in Samuel's bright blue eyes. Strapped to a wooden trestle. Red rain is pouring down all over me. Strapped to a wooden trestle. I cannot hear a single sound as you scream. Rapidly intensifying lady. Yiming Yuan. 24 strokes of the cane. Discipline and penance. I shouldn't really have it like that, should I? Because it makes it sound like I'm saying that Yiming Yuan is a lady. 24 strokes of the cane, discipline and penance. Yeah, I think it's better like that. Discipline and penance, that's what they say. He needs discipline. And I saw a lot of people saying they have no sympathy for him. And I thought, well, that's interesting, isn't it? That a guy's being tortured brutally and people have no sympathy for him. Interesting. Discipline. So I'm a bit wondering, like, because I'm naturally empathetic, but I'm wondering, should I be? I am for him, but should I be for everyone else, given how people are? I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe not. Discipline. Yellowstone National Park. 24 strokes of the cane, flogging Yiming Yuan. I cannot make a single sound as you scream. Thursday, Mountain Daylight Time, and 1 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be 1 PM in Australia. Yiming Yuan, 24 strokes of the cane. Boy's sneaky clue. I cannot hear a single sound as you scream. Rapidly intensifying lady. I come to you, defences down, with the trust of a child, at 1:00 PM. I come to you, defences down, with the trust of a child, into the Red Sea. Nathan David Breeze. I come to you, defences down, with the trust of a child. The ground is still warm to touch. No light in her bright blue eyes. Gabrielle, red rain. It can't be that cold. The ground is still warm to touch. I never knew daylight could be so violent. Deadly lady, Hurricane Gabrielle. Rapidly intensifying lady, Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. And you know what? It doesn't matter how I read it. It doesn't matter if I'm having a beer. It doesn't matter if I don't take it seriously. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But you know what? YouTube can just decide. They are the deciders when it comes to videos. That's what I realized. They decide what people can watch and what they can't watch. So once you realize that, so everything is censored now. We live in a censorship world. The Nazis won the war. Mountain Daylight Time. Community guidelines are like Nazi guidelines because that's how I see it. It's like young people can't express themselves honestly. Well, Hitler won the war because he used to control young people. Very good at it too. Jake Wetzeling's killer had a framed portrait of Hitler in his room. Hitler and Himmler. Adolf Hitler and Heinrich Himmler. Architect of the Holocaust. Yeah, that's the kind of guy who Jake was murdered by. And it's kind of weird because people are more afraid, this is how I see it, people are more afraid of the stigma around pedophilia than they are of kids actually getting killed or molested or abused. Adults are more afraid of the stigma than they are of the thought that kids could get hurt. All this crap is to protect the feelings and the sensibilities of adults. It's got nothing to do with keeping kids safe, because they are actually hurting children. Closing down their accounts, isolating them, silencing them. Like Gabrielle is going to silence a lot of people. Thousands, I think. I never knew daylight could be so violent. Deadly lady, Hurricane Gabrielle. Rapidly intensifying lady, Hurricane Gabrielle, hitting Jacksonville. This huge weather system, Hurricane Gabrielle, hitting Jacksonville, Hurricane Gabrielle, hitting Jacksonville in the shadow of your heart. Nathan Breeze. Nathan, 13 years old, I'm standing up at the water's edge in my dream. Reflections still look the same to me. Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. The demon lady's mirror. No light in your bright blue eyes. Ceremonials. Florence and the Machine. Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. So, Red Rain, Peter Gabriel. Major Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. Red rain is the clue. The key to the prophecy. But it's not going to make any difference. Jacob and Nathan warning for Major Hurricane Gabrielle. The Steamboat Geezer. Record minimum. The Trinity Boys. Choir singing No Light, No Light. August 15, 22 hours, 37 minutes. Because the powers that be, they don't like spirituality. They want people to be enslaved under the new order, which is financial enslavement, economic enslavement. That's the world we live in today. They don't want people watching videos like this. So if a video like this gets a lot of views, they'll just pull it down. 22 hours, 37 minutes, major hurricane. Code by interval, the Trinity Boys Choir singing No Light, No Light. Daniel and Samuel, 22 hours and 37 minutes. Sign of the Steamboat Geezer. Hurricane Gabrielle hitting Jacksonville. The Steamboat Geezer. Jacob warning for Major Hurricane.